What's up, friends? Brandon with Steprock Media here. All right, it's bound to happen. Somebody's going to want some crazy chart like this, like cogs and gears and things going everywhere. How do you create that in Adobe Illustrator? I'm going to focus on the cogs portion of it because it's kind of crazy. Normally, if you want to make cogs and it's an even number, what you could do is just throw down a rectangle like this and make a few copies of it, right? It's not that complicated to do it. And it's not that big of a deal to go in and throw in, say, a clipping mask after the fact, and you could cut the whole thing out that way. But if you've got some weird shape that needs these arrows attached, and as you can see, this is an uneven number, that doesn't work, and it's a little bit weird. How the heck do you do that? All right, so what I've done, and let me get my face off the screen for you. Boop, there we go. What I've done here is that I've utilized the art brush asset, and we've used a stroke along the path, which is a lot more flexible and helpful. It's going to be a little bit fiddly. This whole project is going to be fiddly, so we're just going to embrace the fiddliness. Start out creating the core shape that you want, and it can be anything you want. I've used this to create tentacles for an octopus before, and it was pretty darn funny. And in this case, it's just going to be some random cog shape, and you might have to take a couple goes at this and adjust that shape. And the real trick to the whole thing is your window. Make sure that you've got your brushes panel open over here on the sidebar, and we're going to select that brush, and we'll make a new brush, and what you're looking for is called an art brush. That's your whole trick. And who will call this? I'm going to call this Cog 4 because I've done it three times. Cog 4. I'll let it scale. And I want to make sure that this arrow is tracking the direction I want this thing to flow, which is that way, to the left. It doesn't know otherwise. And you can make changes to the whole thing after the fact and come back and make alterations to this setup. But let's try to get it right in the first place. And it's something like that. Your results may vary, and you are going to need a fiddle with this, as I said. Boom. And there's an art brush. And in my case, I've got this circle design that I wanted. We can make it anything that we wanted to at this point, and there it is doing weird things. So in this case with the circle design, what we did is we went into the strokes panel and we did a dashed line, and I wound up making a really large original dash, and then the second dash is the gap between it. But it will make things a lot easier in the long run because you're going to have an even number of cogs and evenly spaced and evenly scaled. The first one is kind of how big you want these things to be on screen, and that second one is the gap. And as you adjust these, it is going to try to change the number of cogs on it. So if you're doing a wheel design like what I was doing in my weird chart, you're going to need to make changes to it. So I would make a copy of this if I were you, because your client is going to want you to come back and add more teeth to it and change things. So make a copy of it. And we're going to come up here and we're going to hit Object and Path, and we're just going to outline that stroke. Boom. And it's going to turn it into actual shapes now, which is what we wanted to do, because now we can come up here and pick out any of the colors that we want to, and you can use the rest of your normal art tools that are in Illustrator to get the job done. There you go. There's an exciting and complicated chart, which then we can export as a transparent PNG and drop it into PowerPoint, because that's where we're going anyway, isn't it? Anyway, hope you have a great day and good luck out there. It's an exciting world for designers, isn't it? AI is never going to replace you, my friend. Bye now.